Hello again, friends. Welcome into Gamecock Central Radio. GamecockCentral.com presents Gamecock Central Radio with Gamecock great Kip Bouknight. I'm your host, Emerson Phillips. We're coming to you from the Gamecock Central studios, and the Gamecocks dropped 2 out of 3 this weekend to the number 2 ranked team in the country, Texas A&M. But Kip, South Carolina did rebound after losing the first 2 games of the series to take Game 3, 10-7, the final in Game 3, a Gamecock win on Sunday, and that snapped a 4-game South Carolina losing streak, and it keeps the Gamecocks with at least a glimmer of hope for an SEC East Championship going into the final weekend of the regular season this coming up weekend against Alabama.
Yeah, it does, Emerson. I mean, it was obviously not the weekend that South Carolina players, coaches, and fans wanted, especially at home. But, you know, losing to a Texas A&M ball club is certainly not nothing to hold your head down about. So South Carolina looks to regroup. They got the Citadel coming up, and Alabama on the road in the final SEC series. So, it wasn't what South Carolina was looking for, but it was a big win on Sunday to at least salvage a game out of the series.
Texas A&M pitching was outstanding, Kip. They won 3-0 in Game 1 on Friday. South Carolina had just 5 hits. It was a scoreless game through 6 innings. A&M scored a run in the 7th and 2 runs with 2 outs in the 8th. Clark Schmidt worked 7 2/3 and had a very quality outing, but didn't get any offensive help, and A&M shut South Carolina out. First time this year that the Gamecocks have been shut out at home. Tyler Johnson pitched on Friday night, did not record an out, and Reed Scott came on and worked the final inning and a third. And then in Game 2 on Saturday, it was Texas A&M 5, South Carolina 2. The Gamecocks had just 2 hits there. A&M's Ryan Burke went 3 for 4 with a home run and 2 runs knocked in. A&M had a 3-run 4th inning after the Gamecocks scored a run in the 3rd. Destino scored T.J. Hopkins on a ground out to give South Carolina the first run, but then A&M came back with a 3-run 4th. Braden Webb worked 5 2/3, 7 hits allowed, 4 runs, 3 earned, 7 strikeouts, and 2 walks. And it was Andrew Vincent for Texas A&M, 4 1/3 innings pitched of scoreless relief for Texas A&M. So they took the first 2 games, but then the Gamecocks woke up the bats on Sunday, Kip, and pounded out 10 runs. A&M walked 11 batters in Game 3 on Sunday, but clearly it was the A&M pitching that was the difference in the first 2 games, and that's what helped them win the series.
Yeah, it is. And, again, to look at this series and look at how it ended up, I mean, South Carolina to salvage the series and win a game on Sunday. Hopefully they can take that momentum and take it over on to playing the Citadel and hopefully winning that game for Gamecock players and fans, and then coming back and going on the road on a quick week and going to Alabama, getting ready for Birmingham. So South Carolina has to just continue to try to learn from the mistakes they're making and do everything they can to, get hot at the right time. And obviously the right time is, most people would say now, but even if they go to Alabama and even only win 1 out of 3 games, they may end up finding themselves on the road if that's the case. But bottom line, South Carolina still has an opportunity to get hot at the right time, and next thing you know, they're up in Omaha. And a lot of South Carolina fans may not believe that right now, but I can guarantee you the South Carolina coaching staff, the players, they're believing it. And they just have got to try to make some adjustments here shortly, and hopefully they can get hot at the right time, and the time couldn't be better coming up here shortly.
Huge game on Sunday for Dom Thompson-Williams. He hit a pair of home runs. The first one scored the first run of the game, a solo shot that was Tommy Moody on the Gamecock Radio Network said it was the hardest hit ball that he'd ever seen Dom Thompson-Williams hit. Ended up on Ray Tanner Way, and that was Dom Thompson-Williams' first home run since March the 12th, and he added another home run later in the ball game. The Gamecocks tied the game at 3 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And that was when Dom Thompson-Williams hit the 3rd pitch he saw from reliever Ty Schlottman on the Ray Tanner Way for one of the longest home runs ever hit at Founders Park, and that gave South Carolina a 5-3 lead. The Gamecocks scored 4 runs in the 3rd, and South Carolina went on to win it 10-7. Adam Hill pitched 2 2/3, left the game in the 3rd inning. Josh Reagan came on. Kip did extremely well, 4 1/3 innings of relief. He was the winning pitcher in Game 3. Taylor Widener worked 1 2/3, and Tyler Johnson got the last out. So, the Gamecocks struggled against the number 2 ranked team in the country for 2 games, but when they really needed to break that losing streak, they found a way to pull it out on Sunday. So now Florida took 2 out of 3 from Vanderbilt this weekend. The Gamecocks now trail Florida by one game going into this final weekend of the SEC regular season. Florida will play at LSU on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this coming week, and the Gamecocks are at Alabama. We'll have an 8 o'clock start Thursday for South Carolina, Alabama, 8 o'clock Eastern time Friday, and then 3 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. And, of course, the Gamecocks have got the Citadel midweek this week, Tuesday night game, home game for South Carolina against the Citadel. So we're down to it here, Kip, final week of the year, and the Gamecocks are going to need to win against Bama, and they're going to need some help.
Yeah, they may need some help, Emerson, but, I tell you what, it is what it is, and, again, you want to try to win 2 out of 3 if you can at home against any SEC team, especially a top 5 team at A&M, but tip the cap. They did a lot of good things. I mean, from what I've seen this year, that may be the most complete college baseball team I've watched this season. They really, really did a good job and looked very, very comfortable in all facets of the game. So, tip your cap. South Carolina hopefully can learn a little bit, gain a little bit of exposure, a little bit of experience, and get hot at the right time when it comes up. So, it's a situation coming this weekend. I look at it, they got a chance to go on the road against Alabama and hopefully do real well. It's a long college baseball season, but it's, the time is now for South Carolina to get hot.
Kip, how do you feel about the bullpen after this weekend? Reed Scott pitched 1 1/3 on Friday. He finished the ball game after Clark Schmidt went 7 2/3, and then Reed Scott came back on Saturday and worked 3 1/3 innings. So he got 5 innings of work on Friday and Saturday. And obviously, Josh Reagan still very much a factor in the bullpen, along with Tyler Johnson. What are your thoughts on the bullpen? We've talked about that a lot the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have, and I think the biggest thing I would take is a positive away from what Josh Reagan was able to do on Sunday. Our backs are to the wall. We're down no games to 2, and you just want to do everything you can to have success. And Josh Reagan did a wonderful job and kept them at bay. And for South Carolina to win today was huge. And I think that could be a springboard looking forward to this week. And I wish we'd have gotten a couple more guys in the game, but it's a situation. You really, really needed that win, and South Carolina certainly put their best out there today, and they responded and did very, very well.
A&M was awfully good. They were very impressive this weekend. The Gamecocks did well to salvage Game 3, and South Carolina will have a chance to possibly win the SEC East as they head to Alabama this weekend for the last weekend of the regular season. So Kip Bouknight joins us twice a week here on Gamecock Central Radio. Kip, thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Emerson.
That'll wrap it up for today. The Gamecocks getting ready for this road trip to Alabama this weekend, but it will be a 7 o'clock start Tuesday night this week. The final home game of the regular season for the Gamecocks at Founders Park against the Citadel. So the Gamecocks are 17-9 in SEC play, and they trail Florida by 1 game in the SEC East as we move into the last weekend of the regular year. That'll wrap it up for this week's show. We'll come back later in the week. We'll have a preview of the Alabama series. For Kip Bouknight, I'm Emerson Phillips. Thanks for joining us on Gamecock Central Radio.